Welcome to our quick playthrough video showing an example game of Coalition. If you've already read the rules above, that's great because I'm not going to explain the rules in detail here. I'm just going to commentate over the top of this match that we had earlier. So player 1 starts first. Everyone just kind of rearranges their hand to see what's going on. And I elect the first minister. As you can see, this now makes me right wing and the opponent left wing. One player is always right wing and one is always left wing, and you can't mix ministers of either kind in your coalition. So the other player puts down a left wing minister and we carry on the game. I play another one here and that sets me 2-1 ahead, and I also attach a card to the opponent's minister which weakens its popularity. There are a lot of things that action cards can do in the game. They can be equipped to ministers, they can help you elect ministers, they can help you unelect the opponent's ministers, and they can be used in response to other action cards to cancel their effects or to make their effect even worse. There are a bunch of things that those cards can do. So at this point we're just slowly racking up the amount of ministers we've got. It's now 3-2, and the opponent there, she's just attaching a card to one of her ministers. So it's looking pretty good here at 4-2 ahead. As you can see, the purple and the blue cards are the right wing ones, and the green and the red cards are the left wing ones. There's also 5 ministers who can be a part of any coalition. So you can play them whether you're the left wing player or the right wing player, and you can also play them at the start of the game, so it doesn't really matter what order you play them in as long as one of you is left wing and one of you is right wing. You can see one of the independents being played there, so that's 4 apiece now. And I'm just going to use an action card which allows me to draw 2 extra cards, because that's another really important part of the game. As you go through the game, you'll begin to pick up cards that you can't use, like the opposite kind of minister to the ones you're allowed to control. So you want to use a lot of action cards that allow you to draw things or discard your own cards. As you can see, I just discarded the first one there, because once you've got 7 in your hand, you can start discarding them. And the best thing to do really is to discard the ministers you don't need. So here it's looking pretty strong in my favour, 6-4 up. I'm just going to attach there a card that increases the popularity of my card. There are some action cards that unelect your ministers based on their popularity, so if you can improve the popularity, which is shown by the number of stars at the bottom of the card, then you're less likely to have your minister unelected and taken away from you. See, just here she plays Power of Recall, which allows her to pick one of the ministers and put them back in my hand. Sometimes cards that unelect ministers put them back in the owner's hand, which is nice because you can re-elect them next turn, although it does waste your time since you can only elect 1 minister per turn without the help of an action card. Or some cards just discard them straight to the discard pile. Obviously that's worse for you because you then can't re-elect that card unless you have a card that allows you to get it back. So I've just played Credit Crunch, which allows me to get rid of any minister with Finance Minister in their job title, so that's going to put me 7-4 ahead now. And then at the end of my turn I just get rid of a card that I don't need. And here she's going to play Clicktivism, which is one of the action cards. I most like the art of it. It's like a little punky guy and he's got a phone and he's kind of shouting different coloured speech bubbles from it. But it allows you not to have that minister unelected by certain cards whatsoever. And I just got one of mine unelected but have immediately re-elected a different minister in that place. And then unelected one of the opponents with the Major Scandal card, which I also like a lot. It's got this little picture of a camera on it with some naked photographs. Safe for work naked photographs though, cartoony ones that there's no detail on them. So I'm 7-4 ahead here. she's going to play the Royal Blessing card, which allows you to elect a party leader to the field, even if you've already elected someone this turn. And it's looking pretty strong here at 8-5. Remember, the aim of the game is to elect 9 ministers to your side of the field. So you can see how quickly that can be done if you know how to play and if you get the right cards. So this is a game that could take a while. In theory, you could play to a higher number of ministers if you wanted to, but also it's a game that you can play if you've got 5 minutes to spare or 10 minutes to spare. So this is interesting. I elect the 9th minister, which would win me the game, but my opponent actually has an action card that allows them to unelect that minister. However, I also have an action card that prevents the other action card from working. So that was actually a really interesting end to the game, where it looked like I could have been foiled, but then suddenly I had my own card to foil the opponent. So that's just a really quick example of how Coalition can work and how you can play a really quick game. I hope now you can understand better the rules of the game and see that it's a pretty fun thing, and I hope you can back our project.